My wife Sarah came
My
home
wife's
one night,
boss tried to
absolutely
remove me
glowing.
from her life.
Marcus wants us to
Career
come to his
first,
house
marriage
this weekend,
second.
she said.
He didn't know I was
Her
harmless.
excitement was contagious. She'd been working so hard, and getting this kind of recognition from her boss meant everything. What I didn't know was that he didn't want to include me. He wanted to evaluate me. Marcus's mansion was the kind of place where wealth itself seemed to be a building material. Valets took our little Honda Civic and hid it behind a row of Maseratis. Inside, I was surrounded by politicians, surgeons, and old money families. When anyone asked what I did, I'd say cybersecurity consulting. They'd give a polite nod and then drift away. I wasn't one of them, and they made sure I knew it. Marcus made sure, too. He shook my hand and said, "You must be David, the practical one. Sarah tells me you're great with computers. Good to have someone who can fix the Wi-Fi around." Sarah tensed up beside me, but I just smiled. I understood the dynamic immediately. To Marcus, I wasn't a husband. I was an obstacle. Over the next few weeks, Sarah started coming home with new ideas, all sourced from Marcus. Marcus wants me to update my wardrobe. Marcus says successful advisors need partners who fit the image. It was like he was programming her. Then came the first real blow. "The Colorado Investment Summit is couples only," she said one night, avoiding my eyes. "Marcus thinks it might be better if I went with someone in the same professional circles." "Someone who's not me," I said. She didn't deny it. "David, I just don't want you to feel out of place." It stung because I could hear his voice, not hers. But I nodded. "If that's what you need to do for work, go." I didn't stop loving her. I just started watching more closely. Then an embossed invitation arrived for Marcus's annual holiday gala. Sarah held it like it was a golden ticket. "He invited both of us," she said. "That means something." It did. It meant he was ready to make his final move. The gala was a spectacle of excess. Sarah looked stunning. I just tried not to look like a guy who'd accidentally wandered in. Then Marcus quieted the room for awards. Outstanding New Advisor of the Year, Sarah Williams. I was genuinely proud, cheering for her until he kept talking. "Sarah has the complete professional package," he announced, his eyes locking onto mine. "She understands that in our business, personal life is professional life. And Sarah knows the sacrifices required to join the partners track." Partners track? She had never mentioned that to me. He wasn't just giving her an award, he was delivering an ultimatum. "Advancement requires difficult choices," he finished. In the car ride home, the silence was deafening. I finally asked, "What choices?" She whispered, "Marcus thinks maybe my marriage isn't aligned with my future." There it was. He wanted to own her, not as a partner, but as a controlled asset. He wanted her isolated and dependent. He underestimated me. I wasn't a threat to her career. I was a threat to him. The next morning, while Sarah slept, I started digging. Marcus's history, former employees, financial filings. A disturbing pattern emerged. Every woman he mentored ended up divorced within 2 years, then left the company with a sealed settlement. Sarah was next on his list, then a stroke of luck. A tax accountant I did some work for casually mentioned he handled Marcus's finances, and that the structures were more complex than necessary. Offshore accounts, multiple LLCs, strange money movements, and his network security was a joke. I didn't have to hack anything. A simple vulnerability scan showed me his entire financial world was a house of cards, but I didn't attack. I observed and documented. My chance came when Meridian, Sarah's company, hired me to conduct a cybersecurity assessment. Marcus shook my hand, saying, "Glad we could find a way to work together." He had no idea he was letting the fox into the henhouse. I spent weeks scanning their systems, and I found everything. Hidden recordings, blackmail files on employees, surveillance reports, even psychological profiles of his female staff. Marcus wasn't a mentor. He was a predator. I didn't steal or leak anything. I just started pulling threads. Anonymous tips to regulators, inquiries to the SEC, compliance questions to Meridian's board, all based on publicly accessible information, all untraceable. Marcus started to panic. Sarah came home totally confused. "I don't understand," she said. "Marcus is being investigated for everything." I just told her, "Maybe they know something you don't." The investigation snowballed. A private investigator he'd hired flipped, handing over everything to save himself. Other female advisors came forward. Sarah's perfect image of her boss shattered. "My God," she whispered, her voice breaking. "He tried to ruin our marriage. I just held her. I finally had her back." Marcus was fired and escorted out by security. By the next year, he was banned from the industry, his reputation and wealth gone. I saw him once at a Starbucks, hunched over job listings. He looked up, saw me, and quickly looked away. Sarah left Meridian and joined a woman-owned firm. A year later, she was a rising star in the Denver Business Journal. She framed the article. But I framed the memory of her saying, "I almost lost myself. I almost lost you. Thank you for fighting for us when I forgot how. I didn't destroy Marcus for revenge. I did it to save my wife." He thought he was playing chess, but he was one move from checkmate the whole time. And I was the one holding the board. Thanks for watching. If this story resonated with you, hit that subscribe button for more.